Move to a new city, or going through a big life change, feeling a little alone. Don't worry, in this video, I'll share how you can create a new social circle and build meaningful connections, even as a solo. First, shift your mindset. Being solo doesn't mean being isolated. It's an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone and meet people you may never have connected with otherwise. When you're trying to create a new social circle as a solo, one of the most powerful and natural ways to meet people is by starting with shared interests. Because common ground creates an instant bridge between strangers and turns what could feel like an awkward introduction into a comfortable and exciting opportunity for connection. Think about how much easier it feels to talk with someone when you both already love the same thing. Maybe it's playing soccer, reading mystery novels, experimenting in the kitchen, or practicing yoga. By joining spaces where your interests are at the center, you're not forcing conversations. You're allowing them to happen organically because you both have a topic you can easily engage in without overthinking. For example, if you join a book club, the discussion isn't just about the story you read. It's about how different people interpret characters, themes, and endings. And in those moments, you get to see someone's personality in action, which often leads to laughter, debate, and shared perspectives that make you feel closer even in the very first meeting. The same applies to gyms or fitness classes, where working out alongside someone week after week makes you notice familiar faces, exchange quick words of encouragement, and eventually start chatting before or after class, which could grow into a friendship outside the workout space. If you're creative, attending art workshops, photography walks, or music jam sessions lets you meet people who not only enjoy the same passion but who also value expression and creativity, making it easier to feel like you belong to a circle of like-minded individuals. The beauty of shared interests is that they act as social shortcuts. You don't need to invent reasons to talk. You already have the activity as a natural icebreaker, and from there, conversations about life, goals, and experiences start to flow. You can even take advantage of modern community centers, libraries, and local clubs that often host gatherings for people who want to learn or practice new things together. Whether it's language exchange meetups where you practice Spanish, French, or Japanese with native speakers, or cooking classes where you team up to create meals and then sit down together to enjoy what you made. In each of these settings, the activity itself takes away the pressure of networking because your focus is not on making friends directly, but on doing something you already enjoy, which makes bonding a natural side effect. If you're moving to a new city, this is especially important because diving into these shared interest groups gives you an instant sense of community, a feeling that you're not just wandering alone, but are part of a mini tribe that values the same hobbies you do. For example, runners often talk about the camaraderie that comes from joining local running clubs, the early morning jogs, the shared struggle of pushing through miles, and the celebration of progress together create bonds that often extend into brunches, dinners, or even traveling to races as a team. Similarly, gamers who join local or online gaming meetups often find themselves building friendships that move from the screen to real-world hangouts, proving that the activity is just the door but the human connection is what stays. Another overlooked but powerful avenue is volunteering. When you commit time to a cause you care about, like helping at an animal shelter, organizing charity events, or supporting environmental initiatives, you immediately surround yourself with people who share not only an interest but also values, and friendships built on values often feel deeper and more meaningful. Even spiritual or mindfulness communities, like meditation groups, yoga retreats, or church gatherings, provide a fertile ground for authentic connection because the people around you are usually seeking growth, balance, or faith, and those shared journeys make conversations rich and fulfilling. You might also explore professional interests, networking events, conferences, or industry workshops, which can start as career-oriented but often blossom into personal friendships, because when you meet someone who's passionate about the same work, the bond extends beyond business into a genuine camaraderie. The key, however, is consistency. Showing up regularly is what transforms a one-time interaction into a familiar face and then into a friend. Think of it like planting seeds. You join a cooking class and chat with a few people, but when you come back the next week, those same faces smile at you, pick up conversations where you left off, and suddenly you're no longer a stranger. Over time, these repeated interactions stack up, turning casual acquaintances into people you text to hang out with outside the class. Shared interests also help overcome shyness, because instead of worrying about what to say, you're focusing on the activity, and the activity itself naturally generates conversation topics. How your dish turned out, whether you enjoyed the movie you just watched in a film club, or what strategy you used in a board game group. If you struggle to find these opportunities, remember that most cities, even smaller towns, have community boards, online listings, or apps dedicated to bringing people together around hobbies. And with just a quick search, you can often discover groups you never thought existed, from hiking teams to salsa dance nights to tech meetups. For digital nomads or people living abroad, this method is even more effective because hobbies and interests are universal languages that transcend cultural barriers. When you meet people who love the same music, sports, or art, it doesn't matter where you're from, because in that moment the passion connects you more strongly than background differences. What's even better is that shared interest groups tend to attract people who are also open to making new connections. You're rarely the only one looking for friends there, so you're in a space where others are equally eager to expand their circles. The process may feel slow at first, but over time these communities become your anchors, the places where you feel welcomed, recognized, and included, which makes adjusting to a new life or city much smoother. So, whether it's sweating together in a fitness class, laughing over a comedy improv workshop, or quietly painting in an art session, starting with shared interests is one of the most genuine, low-pressure, and effective ways to create a new social circle as a solo. When we think about building friendships, many of us imagine joining big social groups, signing up for classes, or attending organized meetups. But what we often overlook are the countless everyday opportunities that surround us, the simple, casual, and seemingly ordinary moments where meaningful connections can spark if we're just willing to be open and present. Picture this. You're waiting in line at your local coffee shop, and the person next to you comments on how good the pastries smell or how long the line is. Instead of just nodding politely, you can turn that into a conversation, and sometimes a short exchange of words can lead to meeting again at the same spot, building a sense of familiarity that grows into friendship. The same applies in co-working spaces, libraries, or even gyms, where people cross paths daily and share small experiences, the struggle of fixing the printer, celebrating a good workout, or helping each other with something small can turn strangers into acquaintances and acquaintances into friends. These micro moments might seem trivial, but they create openings, and if you learn to recognize and embrace them, they can be as powerful as formal networking events. Walking your dog in a local park is another golden opportunity. Dogs naturally attract attention and spark conversations, and before long, you'll notice the same faces walking their pets at the same times, leading to casual chats that often become friendly connections. Even grocery stores can be spaces of connection, especially when you notice someone debating between two products, asking a quick opinion, or sharing a laugh over a funny moment in the aisle. All of these interactions are small, but they make people more approachable. Public transport is another underappreciated social ground. Commuters see each other every day, and sometimes a smile, a shared complaint about the traffic, or even asking if the seat is taken can start conversations that eventually grow beyond the ride. The truth is, human beings naturally crave connection, and most people are far more open to a friendly word than we assume. The challenge is that we've trained ourselves to look at our phones, rush through routines, and block out strangers, so we miss those tiny chances that could brighten our day and lead to something bigger. By being intentional about putting your phone down, making eye contact, and offering a smile or a small comment, you shift yourself into an approachable presence that invites people in. Think about co-working cafes. You might see someone working on a project, and instead of ignoring it, you could ask, "Hey, that looks interesting. What are you working on?" A question like that can open a doorway to connection without feeling forced. In neighborhoods, simply greeting the same neighbor you pass every morning can build rapport, and over time those nods turn into, "How are you?" and eventually into longer conversations, dinners, or shared activities. These everyday interactions are not grand gestures, but they are the building blocks of social circles, and what makes them special is their authenticity. They are unplanned, casual, and real, which often makes people feel more relaxed and genuine. Another overlooked space is community events, such as farmers markets, local festivals, or charity fundraisers, which are usually casual environments where people are more open to interaction. Stopping at a stall and chatting with both the vendors and other customers often leads to natural conversations because everyone is already in a friendly mood and you're surrounded by common experiences like food, music, or art. Sports fields and courts, whether it's basketball, soccer, or tennis, are also everyday opportunities. You don't have to be a pro to join a casual game or even just cheer someone on, and that shared physical activity immediately breaks down barriers. If you're someone who takes classes or workshops, even professional training sessions, the breaks and casual moments before or after class are often where friendships are born. The trick here is to see every space as a potential connector instead of just a place to pass through. The elevator ride at work, the small talk at the hair salon, or chatting with the cashier at the store. You never know when those brief interactions will grow into something more. Everyday opportunities also teach you a valuable social skill, being comfortable with small talk. While many people dismiss small talk as meaningless, it's actually the seed that can grow into deep conversations later. Discussing the weather, the local news, or something funny you both observe is like laying a foundation that signals friendliness, approachability, and openness. For people who are new to a city, these small, repeated moments of recognition are crucial. The barista who remembers your order, the neighbor who waves at you, the colleague who shares lunch breaks, these become your first web of connections, and if you nurture them, they expand into a full social circle. Another beautiful thing about everyday opportunities is that they require no extra cost, no big scheduling, and no formal effort. They're built into your routine, waiting to be noticed. It's simply about switching your mindset from rushing through life to slowing down and noticing people. Think about how children make friends so quickly. They see another kid at the playground, start playing, and within minutes they're calling each other best friends. Adults can tap into that same openness by being a little less guarded and remembering that many people around us are just as eager for connection as we are, even if they don't show it right away. Of course, not every small conversation will lead to a lifelong friendship, but that's okay. Even brief, positive exchanges make life brighter and keep you socially engaged, while a few of them will blossom into something deeper. Everyday opportunities are like hidden treasures scattered across your daily routine, in the cafe, the street, the office, the park. And when you start treating each encounter as a chance to connect, your world quickly feels less lonely and more alive with possibility. In today's digital age, one of the most powerful ways to create a new social circle as a solo is by leveraging online communities, because the internet has broken down barriers of distance, culture, and timing, allowing you to meet like-minded people anytime, anywhere, and then bring those connections into real life when the opportunity arises. Think about how hard it can be to walk into a room of strangers in a new city and start conversations out of nowhere. Now compare that with joining an online group where everyone is already there because they share a common interest, whether it's fitness, books, travel, entrepreneurship, gaming, or even something super niche like plant care or photography. Online communities remove that first layer of awkwardness because the topic is already set, and you can join in the discussion naturally without forcing it. Apps like Meetup are designed exactly for this. They let you filter by interests and location, so you can find a hiking group, a coding workshop, a salsa class, or a startup networking event happening near you, and the people there are not only open to meeting new faces but are expecting it, which makes the transition from online RSVP to offline friendship smoother. Similarly, platforms like Bumble BFF are dedicated to helping people meet friends in a casual, swipe-and-match way, where you can connect with individuals who are also seeking companionship, whether that's someone to grab coffee with, explore a city, or just have casual conversations. Social media groups on Facebook or local community forums on Reddit also serve as virtual meeting points where you can connect with neighbors, join discussions about city events, or even find roommates and activity partners. What makes online communities so effective is their ability to connect people not just by geography but by passions, because passion is a powerful glue. If you love hiking and you find a local hiking group online, you immediately bond with people who understand the joy of reaching a mountain peak, the struggle of carrying heavy gear, and the thrill of discovering hidden trails. That common ground fast-forwards the friendship process, making you feel less like a stranger and more like someone who belongs. Beyond hobbies, there are professional communities like LinkedIn groups, Slack communities, and Discord servers, where you can connect over career interests, share resources, and then meet in person at networking events, conferences, or casual work sessions, which often lead to personal friendships once you discover you have things in common outside of work. Gaming communities are another powerful example. Millions of people form lasting friendships while playing online games, and these relationships often extend into real life, with friends traveling across cities or countries to meet up. Another overlooked platform is language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk, where you can practice learning a new language with native speakers. And many of these exchanges grow into personal friendships that eventually cross into video calls and real-life meetups. Even apps like Couchsurfing, originally designed for travel stays, now host meetups and events in major cities, giving you the chance to meet other travelers and locals who are equally eager to connect. The beauty of online communities lies not just in meeting people, but in how they help you ease into socializing at your own pace. Introverts, for example, often find it easier to start with messages or group discussions online before meeting face-to-face, which helps build confidence and familiarity. Once you feel comfortable, you can move the connection offline by suggesting a coffee, attending the same event, or joining a small group hangout. Another advantage is diversity. Online communities bring together people from different backgrounds, careers, and cultures, which expands your worldview and enriches your social circle with perspectives you might never have encountered in your immediate physical surroundings. Of course, like all tools, online communities require intention and safety. Being mindful about who you meet, choosing public spaces for first meetups, and paying attention to comfort levels are important steps to ensure the experience is positive. But when used wisely, these platforms transform loneliness into opportunity because you're no longer limited to the small circle of people you accidentally bump into in daily life. You have access to a vast network of humans who are actively seeking the same thing, genuine connection. Online communities also make it easier to maintain friendships when you or your friends move away, because digital spaces keep the bond alive through chats, video calls, and group activities until you can meet again in person. For people adjusting to a new city, online groups are often the fastest way to find your people, because you don't have to wait for chance encounters. You can deliberately join spaces where everyone already shares your vibe, whether that's an expat group, a foodie club, or a weekend travel community. Over time, as you attend more events or engage in discussions, your name and face become familiar, and familiarity leads to trust, which is the foundation of strong friendships. Imagine joining a local photography group on Facebook. At first, you might just comment on people's photos, then you share your own, then you attend a photo walk, and before you know it, you're grabbing lunch with a few of them afterward, laughing and making plans for the next shoot. That is how online communities blend seamlessly into offline relationships, step by step. Another example could be a running club you find on Meetup. You go for one jog, then you're added to the WhatsApp group. Then people start inviting you to brunch, birthdays, or casual hangouts, and suddenly you have a circle that feels like family in a city where you once felt completely alone. The internet, often blamed for isolating people, actually holds immense power to unite us when we use it intentionally, not just for scrolling but for connecting. Every message, comment, or RSVP is a small door to a bigger world, and the more doors you knock on, the more likely you are to find the friendships that fit. So, don't underestimate the power of online platforms. They're not just apps, they're bridges, connecting you from solo to social, from isolated to included, and from being a newcomer to being part of a thriving, supportive circle. Making a new friend is just the first step. Nurturing that connection is what turns a casual acquaintance into a true friend. Many people miss this part because they think one good conversation or a fun hangout means the relationship will automatically grow. But like plants, friendships need attention, care, and consistency. When you meet someone new, follow up soon after. Send a short message to say you enjoyed talking with them, or mention something specific from your conversation to show you value the exchange. This doesn't have to feel forced. It can be as simple as sending a meme related to a topic you discussed, or asking if they'd like to grab coffee next week. By showing genuine interest and putting in a little effort, you build momentum and signal that you want the connection to continue. Small invitations, like joining you at the farmer's market, watching a movie, or even running errands together, create opportunities for more shared experiences, and those experiences are what deepen bonds. Remember, It's not about planning grand events, but about building a rhythm of interaction where your new friend feels included in your life and you in theirs. Another key to nurturing a friendship is reciprocity, making sure it's not one-sided. While you should take initiative, it's equally important to listen, be supportive, and make space for your friends' needs too. Celebrate their wins, check in when they seem quiet, and offer help when they're struggling. Friendships thrive when both people feel valued, understood, and trusted. At the same time, patience is crucial. Not every new connection will develop quickly, and some may take months of casual meetups before they evolve into strong friendships. That's perfectly normal. Real relationships are built gradually. Also, don't be discouraged if some connections fade. It's part of the process, and the effort you put into nurturing the right ones will pay off. The more intentional you are about investing time, showing kindness, and creating shared memories, the stronger and more reliable your new social circle will become. In the end, nurturing friendships is about consistency and care. It's less about doing big things and more about showing up, again and again, in ways that matter. Building a social circle as a solo can feel overwhelming at first, especially if you're in a new city or going through a big life change. But the truth is, every person you admire for having a strong group of friends once started in the same place, with zero connections and a desire to belong. The difference is that they took small, consistent steps to put themselves out there, embrace opportunities, and invest in the people they met along the way. Your journey doesn't have to be rushed. Every smile you share, every new activity you join, and every message you send is a brick in the foundation of your social circle. Friendships are not built overnight, but every little effort counts. And when you look back months from now, you'll realize how far you've come from those early moments of uncertainty. The loneliness you feel now will gradually be replaced by warmth, laughter, and the joy of having people who truly understand you. Most importantly, remember that being solo does not mean being lonely. It means you have a chance to build connections on your own terms, with people who align with your values, passions, and energy. Unlike childhood, where friendships happen by default, adulthood gives you the freedom to choose the relationships that really matter, and that's a gift. So don't be afraid of rejection, don't overthink whether people will like you, and don't wait for others to make the first move. Be the person who takes initiative, who opens doors, and who sees possibility in every encounter. The social circle you create will not only make your days brighter, but will also support you through challenges, celebrate your growth, and remind you that you're never truly alone. You have the power to create that life, step by step, conversation by conversation, and connection by connection. And when you do, you'll realize that the effort was worth every moment. At the end of the day, building a new social circle as a solo is about courage, consistency, and openness. You don't have to meet dozens of people at once or force instant friendships. All it takes is one genuine connection at a time, through shared interests, everyday opportunities, online communities, or simple acts of kindness. Some bonds will grow quickly, others more slowly, but each effort you make moves you closer to the life you want, one filled with trust, laughter, and people who truly understand you. So take that first step today. Join the class. Say hello to the stranger, send the message. Because the friendships you're looking for are already waiting for you, just beyond your comfort zone.